This was a milestone that signaled the arrival of an exceptional intellectual onto the world stage. At Oxford, he completed his Doctor of Philosophy in Mathematics in 1982, cementing his place amongst the foremost mathematical minds of his generation and, ladies and gentlemen, to this day. Professor Nongxa's academic career spanned institutions across Southern Africa, from Fort Hare and the National University of Lesotho to the University of Natal, now UKZN, and the University of the Western Cape, where he served as the Dean of Natural Sciences. His longest and most consequential tenure was at the University of the Witwatersrand, our neighbor down the road, where appointed... We can clap for Wits, right? He was appointed in 2003 as the first black vice-chancellor and principal, and he led the institution for a decade with a vision and a quiet determination. Under his stewardship, Wits more than doubled its annual income, grew its enrollment from just over 23,000 students to over 30,000 students, and launched a landmark strategic initiatives, including the Wits 21st Century Research Institutes and Vision 2022. His contributions to mathematics education in South Africa has been equally profound. He championed the establishment of the Center of Excellence for Mathematical and Statistical Sciences and drove the creation of the National Graduate Academy for Mathematical and Statistical Sciences. Initiatives that have materially strengthened postgraduate research capacity across our country. Elected as Vice President of the International Mathematical Union from 2019 to 2022, he represented the African continent at the highest level of global mathematics and mathematical governance. Yet, it is perhaps his humanity that distinguishes him most. As Vice-Chancellor, Professor Nongxa chose to forego his annual bonus and donated to student scholarship funds for the use for those unable to afford fees. He later established a memorial bursary in honor of his late daughter to support students in mathematics and science, acts of servant leadership that speaks to the man whose values reach far beyond the boardroom and the lecture halls. Professor Nongxa is a fellow of the Royal Society of South Africa, a member of the Academy of Sciences of South Africa, and an honorary fellow of Balliol College in Oxford. He served as the chairperson of the National Research Foundation, championed Pan-African Union university partnerships, and helped lay the foundation of the African Research University Alliance, a continental network for research excellence. The University of Johannesburg is deeply honored to recognize a scholar who has broken barriers, who has shaped institutions, and who has inspired generations. A mathematician who understood that the power of numbers lies ultimately in their capacity to transform lives. Professor Loyiso Nongxa, it is our privilege to welcome you as a Doctor Honoris Causa of the University of Johannesburg and as an alumnus of this incredible university. Chancellor, I now request you to confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy honoris causa on Gordon Loyiso Nongxa.
By virtue of the powers vested in me, I now confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy honoris causa on Gordon Loyiso Nongxa.
Now I have to sing for my breakfast. Chancellor of the University of Johannesburg and Vice Chancellor, Professor Mupedi, members of Senate, and members of the Faculty of Science, and my colleagues from parochial, from mathematics, academics, administrative staff, and support staff of UJ, parents, relatives, and close friends of all those who received the degrees today, and that includes moi. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and I haven't forgotten you. I've saved my best and warmest greetings to the most important people at today's event, the newly minted graduates. I'm truly honored, Chancellor, to receive this award, and I accept it on behalf of everyone who has lent me a helping hand and believed in me, even when I sometimes doubted myself. I receive it on behalf of my late parents, and I receive it on behalf of my family, and some of them are seated here, especially my grandniece and my grandnephew. They traveled all the way from the south coast of KZN to attend their first graduation. And I promise that I will attend your graduations when you receive this. I dedicate this award to my two beautiful daughters, to Musa Dimakazo Nongxa, who's no longer with us. We would have celebrated her 42nd birthday 2 months ago. And I dedicate it to my bestie, Buhle Lusanda Nongxa. In 2003, Buhle led me across the stage at my installation at Wits. And she fell asleep 5 minutes into my installation speech. This morning, she promised that she's going to stay awake so that she can repeat it to my members of the family who are not here. I would like to request the people seated this side. There are so many people who have made it possible for you to be seated there. People who have made sacrifices. I'd like you to take what we're given, wave it in their direction, and say, thank you, Mama. Thank you, Tata. Thank you, Malunga. Thank you, everyone. When I was informed that I would also be a graduation speaker, I wondered what somebody who first graduated during the second half of the last century could possibly say something meaningful to people graduating in the third decade of this century. That's almost 50 years ago. I shaved in order to look 50. I remember those occasions when I would be requested by the registrar of this university to fill in for an invited guest who unfortunately at short notice couldn't show up. They gave me a few instructions, and some of them I received from UJ. First one, keep it to no more than 15 minutes. And I promised to do that. But we retired people, we tend to waffle a little bit because this is an opportunity to be listened to. The second one is, do not give a lecture. They will have attended hundreds, sometimes boring lectures during their time at the university. I'm not in any way saying that your lectures were boring. The third one is, do not tell more than 3 jokes. If we wanted a comedian, we would have asked Trevor Noah. And they say, sorry to hurt your feelings, your jokes are not even funny. Warmest congratulations to all of you. We are all very proud. Graduations are not just ancient rituals. They are special occasions for the graduates as a just reward for their hard work and application. They are special occasions for their loved ones, your parents, your partners, your family members. They are special occasions for your communities, especially those of you who, like me, were the first in the village to go to university, let alone receive a university qualification. You may not believe this. Graduation ceremonies are special occasions for your lecturers and professors, who may remember those days when you submitted your assignment late. And your explanation being that your naughty little brother or naughty little sister had mysteriously hidden your books that you had borrowed from the library. You join a very select group of people in our society, namely those with a tertiary or post-school qualification. You may not particularly like my use of the term elite, but today you join the elite of South African society. According to the 2022 census, although our country has one of the highest school participation rates of 95%, only 12.7% of adults older than 25 years old have post-school education, and the majority are most likely to have diplomas. The positive news is that the gender gap in tertiary educational achievement has closed, with more females, namely 13.1%, having a tertiary qualification compared to males where the proportion is 12.3%. That is something worth celebrating. I will speculate that it is highly likely that to pursue a science degree at this wonderful university, you needed to have obtained at least 60% in grade 12 mathematics. Until 2022, no more than 15 of learners who wrote mathematics obtained more than 60% in grade 12. And less than 10% obtained more than 70%. Another shocking statistic from the same census is that just 4 out of 100 children who start school in South Africa complete their first degree within 6 years of entering university, just 4%. Put differently, those kids who registered in 2008, 18 years ago, 96% of them have not finished their first degree. So you are truly an elite. I'm giving these figures not to disparage our education system, but rather as an example of one of the issues that continue to puzzle many of us, namely the persistence of the underperformance of our educational system. There will be days in future when someone who's not aware of where you have come from will seek to undermine your confidence in your ability. Don't believe them. Don't ever doubt your intellectual ability. Every day, when you look into the mirror, it could be after your shower or even before you take a shower, there will be and you look into the mirror, there will be someone staring back at you who is an achiever. You are achievers. Here's a last quiz, and if you fail it, you'll have to come back and hand back the qualification. Who said the following, and I quote, "I have discovered the secret that after climbing a great hill, one finds that there are many more hills to climb. I've taken a moment here to rest, to steal a view of the glorious vista that surrounds me, to look back on the distance that I have come. But I can only rest only for a moment, for with freedom comes responsibility, and I dare not linger, for my long walk is not yet ended." End quote. And I've given away the game there with the last sentence. Your long walk is not yet ended. Just when you left your primary school as a senior, you entered high school as a junior. Then you finish high school as a senior, and you entered university as a freshman. Today, as you receive your university qualification, you are ready to enter the next phase of your journey, maybe near the lower rungs of the ladder. This happens throughout one's career. As I've already advised you, never doubt yourself, otherwise you'll give others reasons to doubt you. Some thoughts I wish had crossed my mind when I was at the same stage of development as you are, which you may consider reflecting on. 1, make sure that you never ever lose your capacity to learn. A capacity I'm sure you developed during your years of study at this university. 2, in order to keep abreast of new developments, of new ideas, of new directions, never ever stopped being intellectually curious. That sense of wonder that you had as a young kid growing up. Where does the world end? Does a fish ever get thirsty? 3, as scientists, sometimes we can be lazy to read outside of our disciplines or even our specialties, let alone reading about the social sciences. In my humble view, the intractable challenges that our generation faces, challenges of poverty, of unemployment, of conflict, are mostly embedded in the social sciences. 4, there are no easy and obvious answers to the questions that really matter. 5, don't be afraid to tackle the real difficult problems, since their solutions lead to important breakthroughs. 6, always, and I mean always, doubt anyone who has easy explanations for complex matters or oversimplifies issues you see as difficult. And lastly, for my sake and for the sake of everybody here, whenever you can, lend a helping hand to anyone that would benefit from your assistance. You didn't get to where you are, receiving your degree, diploma, a certificate, without the helping hand of someone else. Allow me for 5 minutes to be serious for a change. Not that I've not been serious so far. You are graduating into a world that has an abundance of trust deficit. Not just a little, a lot. Trust in our Constitution, trust in the justice system, trust in political parties, trust in leadership, trust in democracy itself, and yes, trust in institutions like the very one that hands you your diploma today. And this is not just something unique to South Africa, it's a global issue. Some of you have felt this origin personally. You have watched how implacable divisions outside the higher education sector place themselves inside our campuses. You have asked yourselves, what is the value of this education? Does my university truly serve society, or just the selected few? These are honest questions, and they deserve honest answers. As a layperson, let me give you a definition of what trust is. Trust is the belief that someone or something is reliable, that someone is truthful, that someone is able, and that someone is a person of integrity. It allows us to depend on each other without constant fear or doubt. When contradictions arise between how social institutions present themselves and how they behave, trust erodes. When social institutions fall short of society's expectations, trust erodes. Trust is the soil in which democracy grows. When South Africans lose faith in courts, in police, in parliament and universities, we do not merely weaken institutions, we fracture the very bonds that hold us together as a nation. Without trust, suspicion replaces solidarity. Dialogue gives way to division, and the most vulnerable withdraw into silence, believing the system was never built for them. The cracks become chasms. The chasms become despair. But restoration is not only possible, it is already happening, one courageous act at a time. A trusted judiciary protects the powerless from the powerful. An accountable police service keeps families safe while respecting their rights. A responsive parliament turns the constitution paper into practice. A transparent university system opens doors for the excluded and produces knowledge that serves communities, not elites. When we work together to restore faith in our public institutions, we do more than fix broken systems. We renew the promise of a democratic, united, and thriving South Africa. We reclaim our shared humanity. The national higher education budget consists of approximately 100 billion rands for university education and 54.3 billion rands for the National Students Financial Aid Scheme. This is an investment on our behalf by our government, and we therefore have a legitimate interest on the return on investment. University education is sometimes presented as a public good and a private benefit, that as citizens or as taxpayers, we benefit through universities producing graduates like you who received your qualifications today. The private benefit aspect of it is sometimes questionable or even dubious, especially for those graduates who have acquired scarce and critical skills that are underutilized. We now have an association of unemployed medical doctors. My daughter-in-law is a medical doctor, so I'm showing off. While poor people in my ancestral village and in my province die unnecessary deaths due to lack of access to health workers. I belong to a generation that came after the one that made sacrifices for all of us to be free. I belong to a generation that is sometimes said to have squandered that legacy, the legacy of those that spent decades incarcerated for their beliefs. I belong to a generation that will bequeath on you, the next generation, a world where trust is daily being eroded. But today, my bequest to you is the challenge to work tirelessly in restoring trust to our institutions. Today is Friday. It's a good day to graduate because it is followed by a weekend. This means 2 days of celebrating your success. Take it from an old man. Don't overdo the celebration. Our country and our society will rely on those brain cells for the next few generations. Congratulations, because unlike me, you have earned your degrees. Thank you very much.
Sure! The graduates have spoken. Let's give them another one. Graduates! Uncommon and more graduates. Sure! I'm daten take it, Sanamare. Daten take it, Sanamare. Daten take it, Sanamare. Uboyatu. Oi, boy, boy. Daten take it, Sanamare. Daten take it, Sanamare. Daten take it. Oi, boy, 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 boy. Sure! Yeah, but daten take it, Sanamare. Daten take it, Sanamare. Daten take it. Tere buboya tuto. Oi, but daten take it. But daten take it. But daten take it. Tere buboya tuto. Oi, Udinda gaibata, ogibata oyapara, akitabadiku, tabatu, adiferi, oibo, olinda gaibata, akibata oyapara, ogitabadiku, tabatu, adiferi, oibo, sure. Oibo, graduates, you guys graduates, sure. Yeah, but daten take it, daten take it, Sanamare, daten take it, Yatuto, oibo, daten take it, daten take it, daten take it, buboya tuto, lina gaibata, kibata oyapara, ogitabadiku, tabatu, adiferi, oibo, lina gaibata, ogibata oyapara, imagitabadiku, tabatu, adiferi, oibo.
Well, I don't like doing this to you, a graduation ceremony is not a graduation ceremony without this song, isn't it? Many people may be wondering, what is this song all about? What's so special about this song? Those who come from a place like where I come from a village, you know. When there's a graduation, when there's a graduation ceremony, I mean, you can sing this song from dusk till dawn, you know, non-stop, you know. The name of the song, for those who may not know, is Siana Marena. So I will say it, I'll translate it in English and maybe also in Afrikaans, you know. Our great leader, Madiba, once said, if you speak to a person in a language he or she understands, you speak to his head. But if you speak to a person using that person's language, you speak to that person's heart. So maybe this translation, through this translation, I hope I'll speak to a person, to your hearts. In English, this song, just one verse, it says basically, Father, buy me Siana Marena. Siana Marena is the chief's blanket. But here we're not talking about the real chief's blanket. We're talking about this blanket, right? This is the blanket of education, Siana Marena. And it says, I also want it, Siana Marena. I want to wear it, Siana Marena. I'm afraid of people's criticisms that never end, Siana Marena. Now, in Afrikaans, I did Afrikaans tweede taal, so. But it's not bad, because ek is 'n plas jappie. So, Vader, koop vir my, Siana Marena, die hoofman se kombers, die kleed van opvoeding, Siana Marena. Ek wil dit ook hê, Siana Marena. Ek wil dit dra, Siana Marena. Ek is bang vir mense se kritiek wat nooit eindig nie, Siana Marena. Of course, people are jealous. They are Thank you. I mean, people's criticism will never end if you have nice things, isn't it? Especially qualifications from the great University of Johannesburg. Anyway. Anyway, colleagues, please allow me to wish those that are celebrating Eid a blessed Eid, and also allow me to acknowledge the family of our honorary doctorate recipient this morning. Without the love and support of the family, you can't achieve anything, isn't it? Especially as a man, isn't it? So let's give them a warm round of an applause, and also for coming to support Prof here today. So our graduations at the Great University of Johannesburg, you know, run on time and we finish on time. So let me get on with it. We finish on time or before time, and in an orderly manner. Okay, let me not go there. This song, ladies and gentlemen, Siana Marena, has become an essential part of our graduation ceremonies. In fact, a graduation at the Great University of Johannesburg will not feel complete without it. Many of you may recognize the melody, but for those of you who are not familiar with the lyrics, let me explain it. I've already explained it, but let me share the significance in more detail. The song, ladies and gentlemen, is a heartfelt plea from a child. Father, buy me Siana Marena. Siana Marena is not just any blanket. As I've already indicated, this is the chief's blanket, the symbol of honor, prestige, and protection. In the context of this song, ladies and gentlemen, it becomes a powerful metaphor for education. The lyrics continue expressing a deep desire to attain education, to wear it with pride, and to embrace the opportunities it brings. The blanket of education, Siana Marena. I also want it, Siana Marena. I want to wear it, Siana Marena. The final line, I am afraid of people's criticisms that never end, Siana Marena, acknowledges that people will always have something to say, but rather than seeing it as a fear of judgment, it can be understood as the recognition that education sets one apart. It's about stepping into a future of opportunity, armed with the wisdom and strength it provides. It is a celebration of perseverance, of overcoming obstacles, and of embracing the power that learning brings. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate today, may it serve as a tribute to the journey of every graduate, their struggles, their triumphs, and the future, and the bright future ahead. As we close today's graduation ceremony, I know what a privilege it is to address you in the functionary role of Chancellor. It has been a wonderful experience to witness our students graduate and to celebrate your achievements with you and your loved ones here today. It has already been stated that this was not an easy journey for you, but you did it. You are here today. Maybe before I proceed, let's give them a warm round of an applause. You are here today because of your commitment, your hard work, but also because of the support of people who kept you going. Your family, your friends, your loved ones, and your community have all invariably contributed towards your success. Let's give them a warm round of an applause. Please do not forget them now that you have a UJ qualification. Please do not be too busy for them now that you have some education. You have not made it yet. You can never make it. You heard Prof Nongxa speak earlier. Basically, he was saying, and I'm not trying to rephrase your speech, Prof, but I heard you loud and clear. Basically, you can never arrive. Now that you have Sanamar, don't be too important for the gogos, the mamas and papas, the uncles, the cousins, and all that. Now that you are educated, you know. One thing I'll tell you, the more blessed you are, the more you should be humble. I was listening to Prof Nongxa speak earlier, and I said to the registrar, Prof Bettin van Vieren, I said, there's something weird about this world. The more accomplished the people are, the more humble they are. I mean, Prof Nongxa is the most accomplished man I know, and is the most humble man I've met. One of the most humble people I've ever met. But you meet some of the least accomplished people. Oh, they will make your life difficult. Who are you? I'm Little Company. Where are you from? I'm from UJ. Get out of my way. Then you run a country mile, isn't it? Please, be humble. Don't forget the people who supported you all the way. Please, that's my plea to you. But you are from the great University of Johannesburg. We know. You know we are all about societal impact, isn't it? And I know you're going to continue to work with us and support the people who supported you all the way. To graduate is the decisive milestone that sets one on a trajectory of empowerment. I must also emphasize the Vice-Chancellor's words. This is indeed an impressive achievement. The grim truth, ladies and gentlemen, is that many facets of our population are still not afforded such opportunities. Prof also touched on this important point. A 2021 report of the Department of Higher Education and Training indicates that just 6% of the South African population holds a degree. In our vast population, many do not make it into high school, let alone matric, while less than 70% of students who obtain a matric exemption enroll at a university. At this university, the University of Johannesburg, we received more than 800,000 applications for only about 11,200 spaces for new students this year. It is a similar picture for all South African universities. These figures, ladies and gentlemen, are sobering. They remind us that access to higher education in our country remains both a privilege and a profound responsibility. You are among the few who have been afforded this opportunity because because of your talent and the perseverance, but also because of circumstances that have aligned in your favor. Although we are living through uncertain times and witnessing the world around us changing, we know that we have prepared you to navigate this terrain and that you have a solid foundation upon which to build your future. We hope that you will use the knowledge acquired here to contribute to solving societal problems and to pay it forward. Professor Nongxa talked about the trust deficit. I will put it differently. Please go and add more solutions to the challenges you are facing. Do not go out there and add more problems to the problems that we already have. We are having a serious problems out there because of educated thieves. Let's call it what it is. There are lots of educated thieves out there, people who should be helping solve problems. We don't want to see you out there saying a UJ graduate was caught with his hand in the cookie jar. I'm not talking about real cookies now. Here I'm talking about, money. Roads that were not built, but money is gone. We didn't train you to become thieves. I know you won't still, but we're just saying. When we consider what the University of Johannesburg has achieved in just over 20 years as a higher education institution, as the new kid on the block, I know that as graduates of this inspiring university, you will similarly go on to achieve significant milestones in your careers and in your lives. We look forward to seeing you grow professionally, intellectually, ethically, and as committed and respected global citizens. I wish to thank our academic and support staffs for the pivotal role they have played in your journey. Without their perseverance and commitment, you would not be here today. Let's give them a warm round of applause. Once again, congratulations on this tremendous achievement. Go out there and set an example as a graduate of this inspiring university. Be our best ambassadors and spread the word that UJ is an excellent place of learning. You know what we say here, right? Have you forgotten? UJ! You are too slow for my liking. UJ! All the way! At UJ, we don't do things in half measures, isn't it? Remember to stay in touch by joining our alumni. We hope to see you again when furthering your studies and as active alumni. I thank you. Ke a leboga. Baya danki. Nyabong. Ladies and gentlemen, you are requested to stand for the singing of the national anthem. Le kgopela gore le eme ka maoto ge go opelwa koša ya setšhaba. Thank you. By virtue of the powers vested in me, I now dissolve this congregation of the University of Johannesburg. Krachtens die bevoegdhede aan my toe vertrou, ontbind ek nou hierdie kongregasie van die Universiteit van Johannesburg. Please, ladies and gentlemen, remain standing at your seats until the procession has left the venue. Thank you.